Leicester City, Premier League champions 2015-16. Most amazing possible situation ever, people would say. I don't think so. I think that what we're seeing is a trend away from, which makes me so excited, is money. The last 10, 12, 15 seasons, it's really just had the biggest dollars, the most amount of money, and bought the best players the money could buy every offseason, every transfer period. Leicester City shows us that that's not true. There's a couple of reasons I think Leicester City were able to win. One, they weren't in Europe, so they weren't traveling. They had fresher legs, potentially a game per every 6-7 days from the first of the season to the end. They played in the FA Cup and Carling Cup. They didn't make it far. So that gave them, their starting lineup, the chance to rest and their body to acclimate. We know throughout European soccer that every kilometer that a player runs, there's a point where they get in the red zone. It doesn't matter how fit you are or how your fibrous muscles are put together genetically. That doesn't matter. At some point, you'll get injured if you play enough minutes and run enough kilometers. And so they gave themselves a situation to have very little injury. Another reason is, and I think it's kind of coming back, and I'll make 3 cases for it, is a team spirit, a club spirit. Not the most recognizable names, but let's be honest, guys, it's the Premier League. They're incredible. To say that they're not good players or there's no reason that Jamie Vardy could have scored those goals, Riyad Mahrez, Ulloa, it's unbelievable. The one addition that I think was crucial last season was N'Golo Kante, perhaps one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. And didn't get to see him in the French national team, but Didier Deschamps felt different. I think that he's pacey. He is a great tackler, has great vision, and gives a guy like Riyad Mahrez, gives a guy like Jamie Vardy that many more opportunities to score. And so when you throw that many more counterattacks, and he created those situations for them, it gives them a greater opportunity to score. They didn't have that many the year before. Not that they didn't have good players, but it's different. So I don't think it's a surprise. I think you have all the other teams, the top 4 teams, top 5 teams playing in Europe, running around to different countries every couple of nights, every couple of weeks. You have the big clubs playing every 3.5, 4 days, all season long, playing 60 games, and they're playing 42, 38, plus some FA Cup, Carling Cup games, 42, 45 games. You got 60. A lot of injuries happen. You look at Manchester City coming on late. Kun Aguero was injured. Vincent Kompany at the end. That impacted them greatly. But you have a place like Manchester City, Manchester United, with billions of dollars worth of players in the last 4 or 5 seasons on the field, and why can't they win the Premier League? And I think it's a club spirit plus the injury potential. But I think we're starting to see an interesting – the 3 cases I was going to talk about is you've got Leicester City win the Premier League. So I think it's about less game time. I think it's about this togetherness. So let's focus on this togetherness for a minute. This spirit, this unit, this belief in each other that has to happen because they don't necessarily maybe have the money or the celebrity status. And then I'd also look to Chile in the Copa America. Not that they don't have Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal. There are players there. There are stars there. But there was a togetherness. There was a belief. There was an unrelenting energy to beat Argentina in the final, and they did, and they won it 2 years in a row. And then I would look at Portugal in the European Championship. Although they have Cristiano Ronaldo, perhaps one of the top 10, 12 players in the world ever in the history of the game, he didn't play the role that some would want him to. And interestingly enough, he seemed to be the captain, the team man that pushed him on, and there was a belief and a togetherness. And watching him on the sidelines in the final fight and scream and beg them to play, the words he gave to Ed there before he scored the goal, telling us to score the goal, it's almost as if there might be a transition, a togetherness, almost the root of football, what I love so much about the sport. is that these 11 guys can get together and they love each other and they fight for each other for every ball, for every opportunity, every tackle. And so Leicester City, champions of the Premier League last year, it makes sense. They were together. They believed in each other. They fought for each other. And I think those things continue to happen. People that are shocked by that, it makes no sense. Every team in the top division Premier League, which is the best league in the world, most competitive league in the world, it's unbelievable. Every one of them are great. They're amazing professionals. To stand on those teams and on those pitches on those days and play, you're a top drawer professional. I don't care what your history looked like. To get to that point is incredible. But Leicester City should have happened. Glad it did. N'Golo Kante leaving for Chelsea. Got a new video coming up, in the Kante effect. I think that could be a powerful shift. I think he's an incredible player and will be sorely missed. Simon says soccer. Simon says football. Tennessee football addict. Like me, subscribe to the video. There's more to come.